Hey coin collectors, it's DC on the Big D, and we're looking at the 1968 UC, the uncirculated mint set from the US Mint. And in 1968, they mixed the coins up, so there is P, D, and S coins in this mint set. And those of you who collect these mint sets already know this part, and this is that they come in this envelope. We just turn it over here, and I'll show you what's inside the envelope. So it comes in an envelope from the San Francisco Mint, and what happens is that the Philadelphia Mint, the San Francisco Mint, and the Denver Mint, they pull out certain coins from general circulation, they ship them to San Francisco, and then San Francisco puts them in these envelopes and mails them out to people. You say, well, why isn't there an address? Well, it turns out you can buy 8 or 10 or 20 of these if you really wanted to. And so you'll get a lot of these where people bought a lot and they are blank envelopes because the envelope was never filled out. What's inside the envelope? That's interesting. Well, here's the first thing that's inside, and it's cardboard just to make it stiff enough so that if they do mail it, you can actually see a little coin indentation there from where the coin hit the cardboard. So I must have flipped this over when I took it out. So there's cardboard in there, and then there are 2 plastic sets in here, and then there's another piece of cardboard on the bottom. So we'll get rid of that. Now, I said that they have the P, the D, and the S in here, and they do, and that's really strange. One of the reasons it's not quite as strange is because you remember in 1965, 1966, and 1967, they had the mint sets, but they didn't have any letters on them. So what they did in 65, 66, and 67 is they put them all in one container, and it looks like this. United States Special Mint Set, they call them SMS, and there's no mint marks on any of them because in 1965, 1966, and 1967, they didn't have mint marks. Well, when they came back with the mint marks in 1968, they kind of transitioned initially. So let's see what we can start with here. This is, and you can tell there's 2 different envelopes. In general, the blue is supposed to be the Philadelphia envelope, and they kind of use that standard to this day. Sometimes you'll see some of the newer envelopes, blue Philly, red Denver. But that's the weird part. When I said that they took some San Francisco Mint coins, some of these are Philly, some of these are San Francisco. Let's take a look at them. Well, here's the 1968 quarter. Notice there's no mint mark here. So this is a 1968 Philly quarter. Here is the 1968 nickel in the Philly version. And guess what's in the nickel? In S. So the 1968 Philly package of uncirculated sets has the 1968 S. The San Francisco Mint, Felix Schlag down there, there's the FS, In God We Trust, Liberty. There's the star, 1968, and that is definitely in S. So we have the Philly quarter, the San Francisco nickel. We have the Philly dime, because again, there's no mint mark. And notice here, this is a pretty good 8 here. And you'll notice when we look at the Denver, it's really important if you have a 1968 mint set to look at the Denver because there's a lot of double D'ing on there. And it's only going to be in the uncirculated set that you're going to find it probably. All right, what's here? So we had a Philly dime, a Philly quarter, a San Francisco nickel, and now we have a San Francisco penny. And this is a kind of dirty looking penny. It does not last well in this plastic. This plastic off gases at times and changes the color. So we have the San Francisco penny, and then we have the Philly penny. So in the Philly mint set, the quarter, dime, and penny are from Philly. The other penny and the other nickel are from San Francisco. And then we have, oh my goodness, you guys know this one in the middle. I'm going to get to that. We have the Denver Mint set, and you can see coins of the Denver Mint. Can you see that on the token? So the Philadelphia token says coins of the Philadelphia Mint, but it has San Francisco ones in it too. So the Denver Mint, there's a 1968 D penny. Has a little bit of red to it, but notice it just doesn't look that great. And it came from general circulation. These plastics are also notorious for getting ripped, and you can see there's a little bit of an indentation here where it got ripped and let some air in. There's the dime. So let's look at the dime, because the dime is the one that might have some. No, we're not really seeing any doubling there, are we? But look at what we are seeing. This is a brand new coin, and they kind of missed on the I and the W here, and the 8 here got crunched. So a little tiny bit offset, a very bad pressing here, but I don't think it's going to be hugely valuable, but it's just kind of fun. This one might be actually one you take out so you can look at better, but let's leave it in there now, and I'll tell you why. And then we have the 1968 Denver nickel. So in the whole PDS set, we have a Denver nickel and we have a San Francisco nickel, but no Philly nickel in this mint set. And then we have the Denver quarter. This one, oh, look how fine that lettering is there. This is really, really nice, this one. It's still, it has some of the off-gassing, so it has a little coating on there, but it's really fine in terms of the. Then if we look at the edge, wow, that's a nice looking uncirculated coin. And you can kind of tell that. And then this is why we haven't pulled it out of the package, because in 1968, well, look how awful this one looks. It's all got like a film on it. But guess what? The 1968, and this is a Denver, so we don't have a Philadelphia 68 half in here. Only the Denver half. There's only one half in each of the mint sets. In 1968, it was 40% silver. Cool, huh? We tip it up, we can actually look at that and see it. See, there's a little bit of coloring in there, but let's get it flat so you can see it. So it's a little bit worse than a 64 or 64 quarter or whatever, 64 half, but it's still 40% silver. So this coin itself is worth $3 or $4 just in silver value, worth $6 to $8 in almost any condition. But look at this. It almost looks like it got burned before it got put in the mint set. So what do we got? Well, we got this mint set. We have the Denver half, the Denver quarter, the Denver nickel, the Denver dime, the Denver penny, the San Francisco nickel, the Philadelphia quarter, the Philadelphia dime, San Francisco penny, and the Philly penny. And that's what you have in a mint set from 1968. And you'll get these 2 envelopes, and it'll be inside a bigger envelope. And you may very well get a lot of coloring in it. So it's still a mint set, but it's not hugely valuable. These go for about $7 minimum. And if you get a really, really good quality coin, you could make the $7 back just on one of the coins in these sets. So they're always good to take a look at. All right, have a great day from Big D Coins. It's DC saying over and out. And love to have you subscribe to the Big D Coin channel. Leave any comments you might have in the comments section.